paltry magical aptitude, I sensed the girl was just coming into her own abilities. Not only was she strong, she also had a specialty, at least one. Curious, I mentally reached for earth energy, trying to build up enough magic in my body to help me read her specific talent. But I wasn't able to pinpoint it. I guessed she was probably 14, maybe 15, but by her small stature she could pass for younger. She and I were both children of a post-rip world, where magic was no longer a secret. Magic had been around forever, but had never been openly revealed by the magic community until the Rip, the catastrophic tear between dimensions that had brought hellish winged creatures into our world. It had also catalyzed the emergence of the Vamp 2 and Necra 2 viruses, infecting normals and turning them into bloodthirsty vampires and brain-hungry zombies. The original Rip had first opened in Manhattan in 2001, around 30 years ago. The zombie problem had been contained before I was born. Vamps weren't a huge threat anymore either, after Grigori Industries developed an implant that made them docile, taking away their bloodlust and their ability to glamour, as well as allowing them to walk safely in sunlight. That had all happened before I was born, too. These days, demons were the most imminent danger from the Rip. "What's your name?" I asked, following her through a dingy, narrow corridor. The stale aroma of cooked food permeated the air. It smelled like someone had browned a pound of ground beef several hours earlier. We took a left turn, putting us in a hallway that ran along the back of the building. She glanced back at me. "Roxanne?" "I'm Ella." Roxanne was small and thin in that wafy way that was probably genetic, but still made you suspect she'd never quite had enough to eat. I wasn't the motherly type, but watching the points of her shoulder blades made me want to take her home, plunk her in a chair at the little table in my kitchen, and feed her cookies. I probed around her energy again. Her magic was definitely young, fresh, and barely formed. She might not even be aware of the specifics of her own abilities yet, especially if she didn't have a good mentor. Something about her supernatural signature reminded me vaguely of Deb, my longtime best friend. But Roxanne's had its own unique quality, one that I'd never sensed before. Deb was an empath and a healer, a strong level 2 on the magic aptitude scale. I guessed Roxanne was probably about the same as Deb strength-wise. I didn't think Roxanne was an empath, but perhaps the girl had a talent for sensing something specific in others. I barely registered at all on the scale, which put me at a low level 1 and without the capacity for enough supernatural juice to have a true specialty or distinct talent. Magical aptitude level and specialized talents were fixed qualities. No one really knew if they were pre-programmed in our DNA or emerged spontaneously. Regardless, they couldn't be altered, only honed with training and practice. Because of my low level of aptitude, I'd never felt much desire to put effort toward developing my skills. I preferred to rely on my athletic stature or my stun gun if I got into a jam. Roxanne and I passed a few doors with numbers on them, indicating there were apartments on this floor. The place wasn't dirty, but it showed signs of neglect. Peeling paint here, black scuff marks there, threadbare, nondescript industrial carpet lining the hallway that gave it a depressing vibe. Roxanne stopped at the door with a lopsided 8 on it. She pushed it open, leading me into a cramped space that served as kitchen, living room, and dining room. It was messy, dishes in the sink, crusted food on the stovetop, pillows askew on the sofa, bills and unopened envelopes covering the little table. Continuing across the room toward a window, she pointed. "He's out there, on the balcony. His name's Nathan." The window sash was raised a foot, the glass fogged with dirt and age. I glanced around, counting 3 doorways leading out of the main room. 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. "Where are your parents?" Roxanne sighed, a sad, quick little reflex of a noise. "Gone." "Is your brother a crafter too?" "Yeah, he's a high-level 1. No surprise. If one sibling had magical ability, then in most cases the rest did too. I tried to peer through the window, as I had no idea what I was going to find out there. If Nathan were possessed by a demon, he already would have been wreaking havoc,